am with the Scandinavian gear 65 liter pack. I've already hiked with the pack about 2.25 miles. Now I have about 42 pounds of gear inside my pack, which for a 65 liter pack, this thing should be able to carry that amount of weight without any issues. And I'm noticing that I've got a lot of pressure on my hips. Now this thing weighs just under 4 pounds, which is a really great weight for a 65 liter pack. Okay, so I have made it to my camp, but it's got a lot of cool features to it. You can see that I've got my chair set up and I've got my trekking poles that I actually didn't need, but you've got a cool like strap right here, bungee to attach those. And then they go into like a little clip down here. So really cool way to carry your trekking poles if you don't need them. Hey, what's up guys? Devin here with Backcountry Exposure. I have a 65 liter pack on the table today from a new company called Scandinavian Gear. Now they sent this pack to me for review purposes, but I'm gonna be very upfront and honest in this review because my initial experience with the pack so far has been kind of up and down. And we're gonna talk about that as we go, but 65 liter pack that is sub $100. So it's a really great value for a pack. And I'm honestly overall happy with the pack, but there are very specific aspects of the pack that as we go through the review, I'm gonna discuss and explain why they are a negative for me. But know this up front, that this pack, what it's designed for is going to be more geared towards new backpackers. Right now, the price on the pack is about $80, so it's really inexpensive and it is a great way to get into a decent backpack for a low cost. And that's one of the things that I like about it is you've got a lot of good features on this pack, but it does have one big negative for me, and that is specifically related to the suspension system on the back of the pack. And as we go through this, I'm going to explain why my experience with this has not been very positive, but I really want to convey that this pack really has a lot of cool features, and it honestly is a good pack. There are just things that I feel like I need to express about it in order to give it a proper review from my experience. Before we jump into the specific features of the pack, I want to also convey that it should be known that a pack of this nature, 65 liters specifically, should be able to carry a fairly decent load comfortably. Decent load meaning probably 40 to 50 pounds at least. And it should not be uncomfortable on your back. 40 to 50 pounds is a lot of weight, but if you're new to backpacking, that is not gonna be a weight that is not abnormal for you. Like a lot of new backpackers, including myself, when I started backpacking, I carried like a 45-pound backpack in a 65 liter backpack. So you should be able to carry that load in this pack. And we're going to talk about that as we go. Alright guys, so let's get into the features of the suspension system of the pack and then we'll talk about everything else. But this is what is most important to me about the review of the pack. Now, if you have an understanding of packs that are available on the market, the more expensive packs are going to have a lot of features within the suspension system. But my personal experience with carrying this pack, the hip belt, regardless of how padded and thick this is, which it's incredibly thick and it's honestly really comfortable when it's on your hips, but the way that this is put together and sewn into the pack itself, this is not built in a way for me and my understanding to be able to carry a load properly. So it's really flimsy right on this section here. And a lot of times you'll see in other packs that the aluminum stays or the metal stays of the frame of the pack, which is what gives it the ability to carry a large load and carry the weight. This frame will be integrated into the hip belt of the pack. If you look at other packs, a lot of times you'll see that the hip belt is a one-piece construction and it's sewn through the back, which gives a lot of weight balance on your hips and allows it to carry the load a little bit better. That's not something that I see in this pack. So if you're carrying 25 to 30 pounds, you're gonna be just fine. But when I was carrying this over the 6, almost 7 miles of hiking that I did with this pack at just over 40 pounds of weight, it was not carrying that load the way that I'm used to in other more expensive backpacks. Is that a major negative? Not necessarily, but it's something to think about when you're looking at a pack and how it's going to carry your load. Now, something else to consider is how the suspension system as a whole is adjustable and how it's going to work for your back. What I see on this pack is a less expensive option of a suspension system and adjustment, which again is totally fine, not a huge deal. But when you've got a fully integrated suspension system that all works together from the shoulder straps down to the waist, you're going to be a lot more comfortable in that type of system than what I see here. But the adjustment of this, you just move those and then this slides up and down, and it's gonna cover a very wide range of torso length. So that is a really nice thing about it, is a inexpensive backpack that will cover a really large range of torso. So let's move away from the suspension system now and actually talk about the features of the pack itself. So obviously a lot of padding, very comfortable in that sense. And you've got a chamber here that would be obviously ideal for airflow, to be able to allow hot air to escape from your back. You've got a lot of reflective tape here on the shoulder straps. You've got a whistle on the sternum strap. I like this system. I wish this was a little more rigid in that it wouldn't slide as easy, but really like this system of adjustment for a sternum strap as opposed to something like this. You've also got a piece of elastic here and just a really well constructed back system that you're looking at. Now, here on the top of the pack, what you're looking at is a sewn in top pocket. So if we flip this over, usually a sewn in top pocket is not something that you always see, but in this case for me it hasn't been a really big issue. You've got more reflective material on here. If we're looking at the inside of the pack, you've got a nice Spindrift type collar, so you can get that closed up real nice and tight. Here on the inside of the pack you've got a piece of Velcro which allows you to attach and hang your hydration, which also has a hydration sleeve. On the front of the pack here, you've got a piece of bungee as well as a little loop right here which allows you to attach trekking poles, or you could even attach a ice axe to this and that would be a good way to carry those. In fact, when I took this out, this is how I attached my trekking poles. So you've got a lot of compression straps on here as well. So on the side of the pack, compression straps which come unclipped really easy. This particular side of the pocket allows you inside access to the main compartment of the pack, which is really cool. That's a great feature. A lot of people with a large pack like this enjoy being able to get into the pack without having to access from the top or the bottom to get things that are right in the middle. Here's something to talk about real quick is the mesh pocket here on the side of the pack is too small. This has been addressed. I think they're going to be working on fixing that, but this just needs to be a little bit taller to accommodate taller bottles and just bottles in general, because it's nice to be able to put a bottle in here and not have to use a compression strap to be able to keep it secure in the pack. It does have two one on each side. Now, something that's cool about this is you've got 2 straps here right on the bottom of the pack that allow you to attach a chair, a sleeping pad, whatever you would need to lash there on the bottom, even a tent if you needed. But you do have a sleeping bag compartment right here, which is really cool to be able to have that separate from everything else. But if you feel the need to, on this side, there is a zipper that allows you to access and open up the entire compartment of the pack to be able to go from the top to the bottom and not have a separate compartment. So really cool feature about that. Here on the bottom of the pack you have a integrated, included rain cover, which is really cool. But something to note about this pack as well is the material on it is water resistant. So it's not waterproof, but it is going to repel water really nice in just a light rainstorm. So if you need a little bit heavier coverage, you've got an included rain cover on there as well. Here on the side, or the other side of the pack, more compression straps, and then you've got a nice big wide side pocket. So I put everything that I normally would put in a pack that has like a mesh front pocket. So water filtration, snacks and things in here, toilet paper, etc. Really nice pocket. It's baffled, so you've got the ability to get a lot of stretch and growth in that pocket as you need. Here on the hip belts, this is something that I wish had a little bit better design to it, but these hip belt pockets are fairly good sized, but they don't expand on the bottom. They do have a gusset on the sides right here, but they don't expand on the bottom. So when you are pushing this against your hip, it's going to curve this around and it's going to make this pocket smaller than if you had some space this way to allow a little bit bigger items. But you could definitely get like a phone, snacks, all the normal things that you would carry in your hip belt pocket. Here on the top of the pack, you've got a bungee cord that allows you to lash a shell or a jacket or other things on here that you would need to that are lightweight and want easy access to. But overall, guys, aside from my experience of this not carrying a load very well, this is a really nice backpack. I'm honestly impressed with it. It is a really great value, and I think anybody that is new to backpacking and buys this pack is going to be pretty happy with it. So there it is. That is the Scandinavian Gear 65 liter backpack. So right now on Amazon, it's about $80. I do recommend it, but you've obviously heard the things that I personally don't like about it, but that is just for you to decide whether or not that affects your choice in purchasing the pack. So just wanted to be really honest about it. But thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Hope you have an awesome day.